my name is Melody Munch and welcome to our Meet the Teacher setup video. I am not in Meet the Teacher mode right now, but I wanted to make sure I share this with you so that I can release it this summer before your Meet the Teacher. So I'm just going to kind of recreate what I always do for this very special time. I just love making a strong first impression. It's so important to me that whenever I meet my students, they can tell it's going to be a great year and that families feel excited and comfortable. So I just really treasure that first moment of meeting the student. So I'm going to walk you through everything I do to make sure this goes smoothly and makes a great first impression. This is my 8th year of teaching, so I've done 8 of these Meet the Teacher type events, and I believe it was my 3rd or 4th year where I started doing this exact setup on repeat. I've always done elements of what I'm about to share with you, but I feel like around my 4th year I really found my groove and I haven't really varied from this routine since because it works really, really well. Before the Meet the Teacher event, I do 2 things. I make a video welcoming students to my classroom that I can send via email, but the second thing I do is mail them a welcome postcard. I know depending on how your school works, that may or may not be doable depending on if you get your list in time to send a postcard before they would actually meet you. I know each school is different there, so you could also just send a welcome email once you have their emails. I know some people don't get their list until like the first day of school, so if you aren't able to do these special things, I'm so sorry, but I would love for you to do these things if you at all can, or to even ask your administration, tell them about these ideas if you really want to do them, and see if there's any way they could get you your list even sooner than the first day of school, because like I said, these little things make a big difference and they just show that the students are valued and loved by you before you even meet them, and it can go a long way. So first thing is making the welcome video. That is just a video of our classroom. I'll link to a past one that I've done. And it's me saying, hey, this is our classroom. I can't wait to have you. Here's some spots in the room you might get to sit. This is what everything looks like, and I'll see you at Meet the Teacher. And it's under a minute. It's short and sweet, but so many families tell me that the welcome video gets their students so excited for school. They tell me they watch it over and over and over again. Some of them like send it to their grandparents or their friends just to say, hey, check out what my classroom's gonna look like. It just is something they treasure, and I love that. Doing that is super important, and then if I at all can, I love to mail the postcard that just says, hi, I'm Mrs. Munch, welcome, we're gonna have a great year together. And then I print out a little QR code that I have linked to our classroom tour video. So if they don't get the postcard in time or my list changes, I'll also send the video via email before the Meet the Teacher event, but preferably I'd love for them to get a postcard in the mail that says welcome. It's just sweet and inviting. So I'll link the postcard template I use below. It is one on Teachers Pay Teachers that I can print out double-sided, and it turns out so cute. You could also buy postcards online, of course. So those are 2 things before Meet the Teacher that I do just to prime the pump, get students excited to come and meet me. At the actual Meet the Teacher event, when students arrive, they typically are bringing their school supplies if they brought any with them. So I keep that in mind as they kind of go throughout our classroom. So I greet them at the door. I say, hi, Miss Munch, what's your name? I'm so happy to have you. And then I say, you're just going to go through this checklist with your family. Let me know if you have any questions. I love this because sometimes there's a lot of students in the room at the same time and you can't individually tell everybody what to do. You could put it on a slide as well, but I've just found that the checklist makes it super simple for them. So they go through the checklist. The first thing it says is to find their desk and to put any supplies they have brought there. I am a little OCD and I like to organize it in a certain way because some things we're going to share in the classroom and some things will be just that students, like their pencil box. So rather than giving the families a detailed list of where to put everything, I just say, put it at your desk, and I go through it on my own time. So you could do that however you think is best. Then when they get to their desk, there's a black folder there that I'll show you in a minute, and it says to bring that home. There's a small assignment for them to return on the first day of school. That's really sweet and fun. I also put inside the black folders a little sticky note that I don't have any of right now, so I might have to print and show you later. But that little sticky note says what things to bring back on the first day, and families have told me that's very helpful. So I print that out on a sticky note. If you don't know how to print on sticky notes, it's quite simple. You just need to find a template and print it out. It's easy. And then they can see exactly what they need to bring back. So let's go ahead and look in the black folder so you can see what kind of things I put in there.
So when the students get to their desk, they see their black folder and their welcome treat. This is a s'more themed treat that says, I can't wait to learn some more about you. And inside is just that cereal s'mores mix that I get at Walmart. Now inside the black folder, there are lots of different papers, so we're gonna go through each of them. The most important is the child 321. This is how I get a little information from the families about their child. It's super simple for them to fill out, but gives me really valuable information. They give me 3 words to describe the child, 2 things I should know, and 1 wish for their child. And there's even additional room on the back if they need it. This is concise, but I still get a lot of valuable insight about the child from this paper. The next thing is the Me bag. This is the student's homework assignment that I mentioned earlier. Inside, they put 2 to 3 things that would help us get to know them, and they need to fit in the bag. So it's basically like a little show and tell, and we do those all throughout the first week of school. Also, pro tip, don't do more than 3 at a time or else the students get bored. Now we're on to the Meet the Teacher letter. I'll link this one in the description. I have several different templates in my store, just giving the families a little info about me, and I love using bullet points for that, so it's nice and easy to read. I also love doing an FAQ page just to answer frequently asked questions like, when is lunch and is there snack? Because those kind of things can vary from year to year in the classroom. So families love to have that. I also give them this little contact magnet. Usually it would be laminated with a magnet on the back that has our lunchtime, my name, and email, so they can keep that on their fridge to contact me. This is the Handle with Care page that basically lets the families know they can email me with the subject line Handle with Care, and I'll know that their student is going through a rough time or having a bad morning, and they don't really have to explain anything else if they don't want to. So it's just short and concise. Here's what the folder looks like all put together with that sticky note to remind them what to bring back. Everything else they get to keep at home. And then I also wanted to show you a little bit about the first day gift, because they get to see that, and it's a little sneak peek to what we're doing on the first day of school, getting them excited to come back.
Although this kind of goes into the first day of school, and I'll probably be sharing all about what that looks like soon, but I wanted to go and tell you what is inside these mystery bags, or the first day bags. So I have them leave it because inside is something that is going to be ended up being displayed in our classroom all year. And so if they go home and they accidentally misplace the bag, that could be a problem. So that's why I just have them leave it. But I like to have it sitting out so they know like they're about to get a little gift on the first day, and they just think that's kind of fun. So typically one of our first moments on the first day is opening these up. Inside is a little note that I read to them. A little heart that says, happy first day of second grade. And the note says, to my new second grade student on our very first day, here are 2 small gifts to symbolize 2 things. And then it goes on to describe the 2 gifts. The first one is a little thing of slime, because things are messy just like our school year, but we are going to stick together no matter what, and this can calm their nerves so they get to play with their slime in a few moments on the first day. And then the second thing is a puzzle piece, and I'm not going to take these out because, believe it or not, this is one of the hardest puzzles ever to put together. And each bag has a puzzle piece in it. It is so hard to put together that I even numbered the puzzle pieces this year, and it was still tricky to put together even with the numbers. So basically on the back of each puzzle piece I have the number, and then corresponding on the actual puzzle board I have the number so I know where it goes. And the puzzle piece is in there to symbolize how they are an important piece of our class family. And on the first day they get to color that piece however they would like. And there's more pieces than we have students in our class, so we just talk about how those represent other people at our school or any new students we might have. We've had 4 new students this year, so we had a moment where each of them got to get their new puzzle piece and color it how they wanted and add it to the class puzzle. So that's kind of a sweet moment where they're like, you're part of our class family now, you're part of our puzzle. And we have 2 pieces gone because we've had 2 students move away this year. So we give them their puzzle piece so when they go, as a recognition they are part of our class family, and that even though we don't have their piece with us anymore, they're still a part of it. Like, we have a little missing piece, which is kind of sad, but they are still a part of our class family because they once were, even if they're not physically here anymore. So we let them take that when they leave. On the last day of school, or one of the last days, I will auction this off in our class auction, and that will be a fun item to see who gets that. Like I said, it's quite a difficult puzzle even when you know where the pieces go. So that's the other thing in the bag, and that's why I like to keep them here, because if a student accidentally misplaces their bag, then we won't have their puzzle piece. So I only want the puzzle pieces gone to represent students who move away. And then I typically assemble it and I try to like clip it down, and we display it in our classroom all year. So that is just a sweet reminder that we're all an important piece of our class family. You can find blank puzzles like this online. You just might want to count and make sure it has enough pieces. I think this one was 30 pieces. And so I will link some options for you in the description as well. After they see their desk, the third thing on the checklist is for them to go over to the wooden wall, which is here by our tent, and for them to look at a letter. So I just put up a couple as an example, but usually the wall is full of letters at the Meet the Teacher night. It says, "My past class wrote letters to tell you about 2nd grade. Read a letter with your family on the wooden wall." So this is something I do at the end of the year with my past class. These letters are really old. I'm not sure where my more current ones are, but I just love these. They tell them a little glimpse of what 2nd grade will be like, some things that they will learn, things they might get to do, things about me. And my students truly remember what these say, which is amazing. Last year, so my current group of students read letters that said they would get to do a Starbucks day, and they remembered that. And whenever we did our Starbucks day, they were like, "I read that in my Meet the Teacher letter," and I've been excited ever since. So I love that it just gives them a few things to look forward to. The next item on the checklist says for them to go to the classroom door and find our seating choice chart, and that while they're here, they can pick their first seat choice that they will get to sit at for part of the first day. So they love doing this. Some of them take a really long time, and I remind them that they'll get to choose a new spot every day, so they don't need to stress. And then they would take their magnet and pick a spot to sit at. So let's say the student picked the stage, and then the next item on the checklist is to go take a picture at their spot, and I have a few signs that they can hold while they are there. These little signs are free on Teachers Pay Teachers. I just printed, laminated them, and then hot glued them to the back of a popsicle stick. So I tell them they can pick one of those to hold, or we have the 2 balloon for 2nd grade. I typically have their families take one of just them, and then I hop in one as well, and that's just a sweet first memory. Then if the families want to, I have a link to a classroom wish list they can participate in by scanning the code. And then I also have this Jolly Rancher sign up. That's pretty much the only little incentive I give my students, and not very often, but I give out Jolly Ranchers sometimes when just the whole class is doing a great job, or just to show them that I care. And I use it for magic trash winners at the end of the day. I spot a few pieces of magical trash. Whoever finds it gets a Jolly Rancher. So that is something they could sign up to help with. And then the next step is to find me and say, "I'm excited for 2nd grade," and ask any questions. And then they get to go home and get ready for the best year ever. They know to leave their mystery item on their desk, and then it reminds them to bring back the black folder, me bag, and Child 321 on the first day of school. I hope all this information was really helpful for you as you set up your Meet the Teacher night event. And hopefully you have a Meet the Teacher, because I have heard of some schools who don't have that. And if that's you, I'm so sorry. I'll have to be thinking of some other ideas that could be helpful for you. Maybe you could still do this as like some of your first moments of the school year. If you don't have a Meet the Teacher, you could invite families to come in and be part of the first 30 minutes or so of the day, just to get everyone settled in. But if you have a Meet the Teacher, hopefully you are able to get a lot of your families to come and they are able to enjoy all these types of things that just ease them back into the school year and give them a great warm introduction to you as their student's teacher. So I hope that was helpful to you, and I will put anything I talked about in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.